the only man on the island living among women. The hellish story of the heavenly Pitcairn Island. In order to expose the genuine reality of living on this idyllic island, Rhiannon and Adam went out for Pitcairn Island in the South Pacific. The Pacific Ocean's 4.5 square kilometer sized island with only 49 people living on it now holds the record for having the world's lowest population. The first ones to settle there were the Mutinies from the famous reward ship who escaped English persecution. Over the years, the island was controlled by a succession of criminals and unstable individuals. It also developed into a sanctuary for alcoholics and was the scene of a dreadful genocide. Despite having a small population, it rose to prominence in 2004 as the country with the highest percentage of pedophiles and former felons in the whole globe. Before the advent of Europeans, Polynesians, most likely Tahitians, began to colonize Pitcairn Island about the 11th century. They established a settlement, engaged in commerce with the nearby island of Manga River, and enjoyed comfortable living conditions for 400 years. However, as a result of resource exhaustion and a civil war on the Manga River, their number declined and ultimately disappeared. The history of Pitcairn Island began formally with the mutiny on the Bounty. With the intention of gathering breadfruit plants, Britain dispatched the Bounty to the Pacific Ocean in 1787. The sailors fell in love with Tahiti's culture upon their arrival and started courting Tahitian women. Because the mutineers failed to carry out their duties, Captain Bligh and his allies were cast adrift while they watched as the mutineers fled to Tahiti. Fletcher Christian led a group of mutineers who made the decision to settle on the barren Pitcairn Island rather than risk reprisals. The utopia they had experienced in Tahiti was drastically different from life on the Pitcairn Islands. When moonshine, a liquor made from the plant's delicious roots, was introduced, power dynamics and aggressive behavior changed. The colony consisted of 9 European sailors, 6 Tahitian slaves, and 12 Tahitian ladies. Harrowing was bit off by McCoy, the sailor who discovered how to make moonshine, in a tragic episode. She hung herself after jumping over a cliff out of despair. McCoy began to take the life of the Tahitian slaves by contacting them in an effort to find a replacement. The men from Tahiti decided to eliminate the Europeans, and they executed the vast majority of them fast. Only Adams, Young, Quintal, and McCoy were able to escape unharmed. As the Tahitians' property disputes and rivalries increased over time, Europeans started to consider them more and more favorably. Additionally, the wives were shifted from one spouse to another. After working together with the islanders to do the essential daily duties in 1791, some sailors made the choice to spend the entire day in the shade while making the Polynesian males perform the strenuous jobs that the women were unable to achieve. While Quintal and McCoy had the single males perform all of their labor, Martin and Mills treated the other islanders from lower castes in a similar manner. McCoy and Quintal routinely used violence and insult against the Polynesian men and women. Adams reluctantly assumed the role of the creator and leader who sought to build a perfect Christian society based on strict standards. When the British landed at Pitcairn Island for the first time in 1808, they were impressed with the religious community they found there and thought of it as a model of morality and Victorian ideals. By 1799, Young and Adams had slain Quintal out of self-defense and McCoy had committed self-harm by drowning. The sole remaining guy from the group that had barely arrived 10 years earlier was John Adams after Young died in 1800 from asthma. However, a number of shrewd individuals started to manage the island's power struggles, and a succession of rogue tyrants went on to influence Pitcairn Island's history. The history of Pitcairn Island is intriguing, with a murky background and a wide range of hardships and tribulations. 8 Pitcairn males, or 1/3 of the island's adult male population, were found guilty in 2004 of many counts of physical abuse against little girls. The island overcame the difficulties and currently has a minuscule population of just 49 people, making it the state with the lowest population in the whole globe.